Hi, everybody. Welcome inside Game Day After Dark here on Bonfire Sports. I would ask how you all are doing, but I have a good indication of how all Bombers fans are feeling right now, and I can share this with you. That sentiment, the exact same inside the Blue Bombers locker room following the 110th Grey Cup and a final score 28-24. The Montreal Alouettes are the Cinderella story and the shockers of the Canadian Football League, upsetting the 16 win Toronto Argonauts in the West Final after a decisive win in the or pardon me in the East Final after a decisive win in the East Semifinal over the Hamilton Tiger Cats. The Blue Bombers, of course, a 14-win team in 2023 and decisive favorites going into this game. Um, Look, we're not going to overly dissect this one. It was an incredibly entertaining and well played football game from both teams. Uh, in the end, Montreal made a couple plays when it mattered. And, Winnipeg made some good things happen in the first half and even into the second half. Montreal countered. Incredible game from Kavian Ento, who was just an absolute beast. Kabian Ento, I'll correct myself there. The defensive back for the Montreal Alouettes. He had a pass breakup on a would-be touchdown catch for Drew Wolodarski in the second quarter. He forced a fumble on Brady Oliveira that the Alouettes recovered in the second quarter. And then he had that very impressive leaping, elevating, outstretching interception in the end zone on what probably would have been a Kenny Lawler touchdown off the arm of Zach Collaros. Uh, I'll just share with you guys what I learned and what we heard inside the Blue Bombers locker room, as well as from head coach Mike O'Shea and quarterback Zach Collaros, who spoke at the podium in front of the assembled media here in Hamilton. Uh, and I will post a lot of this content here on Bonfire Sports, probably a little bit later tonight. Can't stay and do the post game too long. I got to get on a bus. Last one out of here at Tim Hortons Field in just about 30 minutes. So hopefully we can get through that. And look, before I do that, I want to thank everybody out there. All of you bonfire starters, all of you OGs, all of you new listeners and viewers. Thank you for joining us here in 2023, or if you joined us last season as well. And if you go back to 2021, when Chris Walby and I started Game Day Winnipeg and our pregame show here on Bonfire Sports in those early days after TSN Radio, thank you. Thank you for your support, your viewership and listenership, all of your comments, all of your messages, and really all of just your engagement. It means the world to me. When I started this, Bonfire Sports and the channel, 2.5 years ago, means the world to Chris Walby, means the world to Zach Schnitzer, and really everybody that you have seen and heard here on the channel through the years. And thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate you guys just dropping those right now, seeing them kind of pop up on the screen. Awesome to see everybody. Tico Napoli and Jeff and Vicky and Farside Bruce, Friesen. Appreciate all you guys. Thank you so much. Look, I was very, very taken by the emotion shown by Zach Collaros in his post-game comments. And there were some times where, it almost seemed like the disappointment, the shock, the just missed opportunity by this Blue Bombers team to cement a dynasty. I don't think you can completely put that scenario to bed here in Winnipeg yet, but four straight Grey Cup appearances is something people will remember, and two wins out of four back to back in 19 and 21 is nothing to be ashamed of, but the opportunity missed to win a third and a fourth appearance for this Winnipeg Blue Bombers team in 2023. Very, very tough pill to swallow for everybody inside that locker room tonight. Yeah, just taken aback by Zach Collares's emotion that he showed, and some times where you could tell he was fighting it, fighting to hold it back, and hold it together. And I don't blame him. I think anybody in his situation would have expressed that. Um, this Blue Bombers team had so much belief. Getting to talk to Adam Bighill and Dalton Schoen inside the locker room. I'll have those interviews up on Bonfire Sports, in the coming time. So stay tuned for that. Talking to some guys about what it meant to have Schoen fight to get healthy enough to play. And was he 100%? You know, no, he wasn't. Was Adam Bighill 100%? No, he wasn't. But for Adam Bighill to battle back and be able to play, I think meant the world to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and his teammates and his coaches and all those individuals inside the building. Um, in no way, shape, or form do I feel, and this is just my objective opinion, in no way, shape, or form do I believe the health of Adam Bighill or Dalton Schoen or anybody else for that matter had a factor in this game. Like, could Bighill have been in more plays and his usual self? Absolutely. But that's not the reason the Winnipeg Blue Bombers lost. I don't think you can hang it on any individual or even a couple individuals. Montreal was impressive. And the way that they finished the regular season, the way that they knocked off three teams in the playoffs, similar to what Winnipeg did in 2019, and kind of shocking the world and beating the Ticats at McMahon in Calgary in 2019. Montreal did that. Um, Dalton Schoen, not his normal speedy self. Absolutely not. But I think having him available, somebody of his caliber, obviously a CFL All-Star in his first 2 years in the CFL, again this year, his second year, is enough of a threat, enough of a decoy. As much as he did catch some balls tonight, to help Winnipeg. Help Winnipeg's offense get going. We can take a look at some numbers here on the Blue Bombers offense. And here is Zach Collares' numbers: 236 yards passing, 19 of 23, 82.6%. Outstanding number from the Blue Bombers quarterback. He uh, played his heart out. And, you can say some of those balls that, Kavi and Ento either knocked down or intercepted, were they underthrown? I mean, especially the interception. Uh, that was one Collars talked about in the postgame, and you guys will be able to hear it when I post that up on the channel. That it did look like man-to-man coverage, and when Ento broke off of Drew Wolodarski, he was able to, get deeper into the end zone, elevate and make a heck of a play. To me, he was the player of the game, the most valuable player in this game. Kavianento of the Alouettes on defense, really even on offense. Cody Fajardo was named this game's most outstanding player, but Ento was probably my choice. I did not have an official vote in this one, but Collares and Fajardo went toe to toe, and Cody Fajardo really delivered when it mattered. And he led the CFL in completion percentage in 2023. And you just look at those numbers: 21 of 26 passing, 81% for 290 yards, 3 touchdowns, threw the one interception to Evan Holm in the third quarter, or maybe it was early in the fourth, which effectively worked as a punt for the Montreal Alouettes. And, people will say, well, what do you mean it worked as a punt? Uh, yeah, it was early in the fourth quarter. It was 2nd and 4, and it was the second play of Montreal's drive. And, Austin Mack gets a 6-yard reception, 2nd and 4, and they throw a deep ball that Holm is able to intercept. And it didn't give Winnipeg particularly good field position. I think it gave them maybe a little bit of momentum at that point. But they weren't able to capitalize on it. They went 2 and out following that Evan Holm interception, their third 2 and out of the game, and I believe it was their second of the second half. I could be wrong. No, it was their first two and out of the second half. But Montreal then responded to that Winnipeg short possession with a real quick three-play, 26-yard drive. As they got a pretty good return. They got some good returns from James Letcher Jr. In the 110th Grey Cup. Austin Mack, 103 yards receiving, two second down conversions. Tyson Philpott with some real big catches in the late going when Montreal needed it. He was a heck of a player in this game, as well as Sneed made some very, very important catches in the late going there to help Montreal move the chains. And moving back over to the Winnipeg side, because I did start this by talking about Dalton Schoen. I think, Schoen's two second down conversion catches and, caught everything thrown his way, 3-on-3 targets for 36 yards. He did enough to be a productive cog in the Winnipeg Blue Bombers offense. Kenny Lawler was damn good. 77 yards, including a long one of 42 that really helped Winnipeg in the early going of this game. Nick Dembski, outstanding, I thought, tonight, even when Montreal was really putting some physical presence in his face. 8 catches on 9 targets for Dembski, 74 yards, 3 second down conversions, 46 yards after the catch. He was just damn good. And then there's Brady Oliveira doing what Brady Oliveira does. Had 200 or eclipsed 100 yards rushing pretty early in the game. I think it was late in the second quarter that he did. Winnipeg did really what they hoped to do, and that was play ball control and run the football and score points. But to have a a lead in the second quarter, 17-7, to go into the half with that huge third down goal line stand where Shane Gauthier filling in for Adam Bighill, making that stop, was really an impressive play and moment for Winnipeg going into the halftime break. Did you guys like Green Day? Hit up the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. I thought it was pretty good, as much as I got to catch it when I wasn't having some conversations with people both in Montreal and from around the CFL. Just get people's perspective on the games. To me, that's my halftime show. Jamal Parker got injured at one point in this game. On the opening kick of the second half, Evan Holm moved to corner, Brandon Alexander from safety to halfback, and then Nick Hallett, who was awesome tonight. And Mike O'Shea talked about it. You'll hear from him here on the channel a little bit later. I'll post a separate video of all these individuals. Just how he makes big plays in big games. Nick Hallett kind of turning into a reflection of his teammate Mike Miller. Doing it on special teams, but stepping in at safety was pretty impressive as well. When Big Hill started suffering those snags with his injured calf, he was he mentioned to us after the game that he had a torn calf. He gave himself 0% chance of playing in this game when it happened. So a week ago, Adam Bighill, of all people, I've spoken of Adam Bighill's character and approach, his mentality of both football and life and work ethic and leadership. I don't have to repeat those sentiments. I think you guys all know what Adam Bighill is made of, and who he is. But he gave himself a 0% chance of playing in the Grey Cup, and then Mike O'Shea, forever optimistic, forever hopeful, and never closing the door on the potential for a player to play. Uh, shocked everybody when those him and Dalton Schoen were able to go. That was really something, and a pretty gutsy display of what it means to go to war with and for your teammates. Hang on one sec. Yes. You guys all use equipment? So I'm in the TSN radio booth where Dustin Nielsen and Marshall Ferguson called the game tonight. And TSN, I'm just going live here. Yeah. So TSN's still wrapping up, packing up their stuff. How'd you enjoy the game? Good. Yeah. Well, there you go. Yeah, from Winnipeg, this gentleman is. So broadcasting to all the Winnipeg fans here on Bonfire Sports. Where was I? Yeah, just what Dalton Schoen and Adam Bighill showed in being able to play and doing what they needed to do to get healthy. And I asked Dalton Schoen, another individual, you'll see video of his post-game comments here on the channel a little bit later. I asked him what it meant to have your head coach uh, remain hopeful and to not close the door on that opportunity to play in a championship game. And he said it meant the world. So, while us in the media and many fans get frustrated with Mike O'Shea at times and, his approach to remaining very, very tight-lipped and not commenting on the status of his injured players. There's a reason why he does it, and it has nothing to do with anybody except how he approaches managing his team, and really how the team manages themselves, which is how Mike O'Shea does it, hands off and kind of out of the locker room, which I think really speaks to why it was important for Adam Bighill to play in this game. Despite being somebody that self-admittedly gave himself a 0% chance to be able to then step on the field. Real quickly, got about another 10 minutes here before we wrap up. Great to see everybody in the live chat. Thanks for joining us, and uh, you know, uh, appreciate all of you out there watching live. And if you're listening on the podcast, appreciate you too. Thanks for that. And stick around this winter. You're not going to see the last of this face, unfortunately. Going to have lots of stuff up on the channel through the CFL off season and through the Winnipeg Jets season as well. If we look at really the way this game shook out, yes, it was surprising to see, um, you know, uh, an underdog team like the Montreal Alouettes win this game. But, there were many people, including my good friend and colleague Jamie Nye out of Regina, who is as objective and unbiased as they come, pick the Montreal Alouettes to win. And, the Alouettes won in the way many of us said, what is the path to victory? It was takeaways. It was, a lot of people said, defensive scoring, defensive touchdowns. But while they didn't need to do that, they did find ways to score, and it was pretty dang impressive, to see the Alouettes the way they did that. In the second quarter, Jason Moss challenged a no yards challenged for a no yards penalty and wasn't able to get that. And then the Winnipeg goal line stand, going into halftime, I really thought that Winnipeg was going to be able to continue that momentum into the second half, and unfortunately that they weren't. The way the game went, especially after that Cole Speaker 23-yard touchdown catch on Montreal's first possession of the third quarter to bring them to within one score, we suddenly thought, hey, if the Alouettes were able to score on that short yardage situation, that let me help you out here, brother. We just got some cables tied up. This is how busy it is after Grey Cup, when all you guys are headed home and hungover and happy. There's still so many people here working, to bring you this game, across a lot of different mediums. But the way that Montreal found a way to beat this Blue Bombers defense. They kept Cody Fajardo mobile. They kept him kind of in a moving pocket. I had a lot of criticism and questions about the Montreal Alouettes' ability to protect their quarterback. And, I thought Willie Jefferson and Jackson Jeffcoat and, a lot of those principal pieces on the front end of the defense, that front six, I honestly thought they were going to have a more of an impact in this game. But Montreal's offensive system with their coordinator, Anthony Calvillo, and of course, the offensive mind of head coach Jason Moss, they were really good. Really, really good, and were able to get the ball downfield and find ways to get Austin Mack and Tyson Philpott and Sneed and Speaker in some space, and you got to give Cody Fajardo credit. He really was able to deliver the football efficiently and effectively, and that surprised me. I'll be honest, that definitely surprised me. So when they were able to get to within three, and then Winnipeg puts together a very long, impressive drive. Dembski for a 17-yard catch, and then Oliveira with a couple 7-yard runs, and then Lawler with a 9-yard grab, and then Prukop in on 2nd and 1 or 2nd and 2. He rips off 6 yards, which was just crazy to see how efficient and effective Dakota Prukop was running the football in short yardage for Winnipeg. Um, Winnipeg was really moving, and then came the Cabianento interception in the end zone, which was, to me, the play of the game, the bonfire burning point, if you will. Now, Montreal wasn't able to score on that ensuing drive. They just had 4 plays and a punt, but their defense did their job and forced Winnipeg into a punting situation as well. Then Evan Holm had an interception. So we got a 3-point ball game early in the fourth quarter, and Winnipeg at that moment taking the ball back from Montreal. I talked about it earlier, maybe being kind of like effectively like a punt for the Alouettes. I thought there was going to be some momentum there, and I really thought at that point, okay, this is what the Blue Bombers do. They're going to find a way to play their best football in the fourth quarter. And they tried to get Brady Oliveira going. Reggie Stubblefield, who for my money was the most outstanding rookie in the CFL this season. Big sack, a loss of 8 yards, and forcing that 2-and-out that I mentioned earlier. And then for Austin Mack to pull in a 13-yard catch and run. Very well designed play by the Alouettes that gave them their first lead of the game, 21-17. Then came Winnipeg to see Janarian Grant have a 39-yard return to the Winnipeg's own 54 to be at midfield. Winnipeg put together a very, very good drive, and I thought, okay, we got ourselves a ball game. 9 plays, 56 yards, 5 minutes, 14 seconds. This was bully ball. This was clock eating Winnipeg Blue Bombers offensive football. A touchdown score from Dakota Prukop on a 4-yard plunge to go up 24-21. And at that point, Winnipeg then forced a 3-play and out from the Alouettes offense, but it was the way that Montreal rolled with the punches. They didn't let Winnipeg intimidate them. They found a way offensively, which I don't think anybody really suspected or expected Montreal to do. It was their offense, not their special teams, not their defense with takeaways. The takeaways helped, but they did not put up points particularly. No pick sixes, no scoop and scores, that sort of thing. It was their offense that made it happen. And to see a Canadian like Tyson Philpott do what he did, and to see Cody Fajardo get his team to the promised land is really something. Would love your thoughts in the comments of your Walby's Warrior, your Westwood Wide to the right, your Happy Honker. I mentioned my Bonfire Burning Point. I would love to hear your Bonfire Burning Point in this game as well. Game balls, I think I will give one to Well, I mean, I got to give one to KBNento. I thought he was the best player on the field. I'll give one to Brady Oliveira. He did what Brady does, and you'll hear comments from him as well. Some insightful ones on. I'll post that here on Bonfire soon. Um, but you got to give Cody Fajardo credit. You got to give him credit, and I know Bombers fans don't want to hear that, but he deserved this win. He led his team to score when they needed to score, and when there's a minute left, 55 seconds left, and they had the ball, he made it happen. Surprising, absolutely. Impressive, definitely. And I mean, look. I know Bombers fans are disappointed. I have a lot of people close to me in my life with the Winnipeg Rifles, with the Blue Bombers, with my friends, friends that I've made here through Bonfire Sports, and other members of the media that don't cover the team that love this team. I feel for you. I absolutely do. I grew up a Blue Bombers fan. I know how it feels to have your heart broken, especially when you expect to have your team win. I feel for you. I've also put my fan card in my pocket for you because you, the fans, deserve an objective perspective on your football team and on your favorite football team. So I do that for you guys, and it's an honor and a privilege. Truly, as cliche as that is, it's an absolute honor and privilege to do that for you guys. And I thank you again for your support here on Bonfire Sports. This I do know. Mike O'Shea, Zach Kolaris, Nick Dembski, some of the guys on the defense. I think but those names that I mentioned, those guys are under contract for some time yet. This Blue Bombers team is not done. They are going to be a team that I think once they're able to digest this week and tonight and the 110th Grey Cup, and obviously some huge disappointment to be a complete understatement. Once that happens and they hit the field for training camp in May of 2024, this team is going to be a team that is going to compete. They are going to fight. They are going to work. And if I was a fan, I would be proud of this team. You see what they bring, their approach, and how much it means to them. That was my takeaway of being inside that locker room. How much it means to them to play for their teammates, to play for their brothers and their sisters, to play for their fans, to play for you. This team has something I think that really is special. Them being in four straight Grey Cups, not a fluke, not even close. Uh, and they were close to capturing the Grey Cup last year in Regina and a 1-point loss to the Toronto Argonauts, and they were close to capturing a third Grey Cup in four straight appearances here in the 110th. But this is why you play the games. This is why we watch. This is why we talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and the gray areas in between. So thank you everybody for joining us. Keep it locked. I will post those post-game interviews with Willie Jefferson, Jamarcus Hardrick, Adam Bighill, Dalton Schoen, Brady Oliveira. I hope I'm not forgetting anybody else, but yeah, I do appreciate all of you out there. I hope you had a good night. Your final score in the 110th Grey Cup: Montreal 28, Winnipeg 24, and I'll leave it by saying this. The Montreal Alouettes franchise 12 months ago, there were questions about whether they were going to fold. Their general manager, Danny Machocha, had no money, literally no budget to sign free agents. And here we are, just a matter of months later, and they are Grey Cup champions for the first time in over a decade. So this league remains to be the crazy football league, the CFL. It's crazy. But it is definitely entertaining, and I sure hope you enjoyed the ride. Thanks again, everybody. And hey, enjoy your weekend. And remember, there's more to life than football. and your team, hey, they're playing in the championship. It could have been, things can be a lot different. So have gratitude. I know I'm very, appreciative of all of you out there. I think I've mentioned that, a lot tonight, and there's a reason why. So, have a great one, everybody. Wish Schnitzy was able to join us here on Game Day After Dark. Wasn't able to, but sending my best to him. He is doing great. Same with Chris Walby. He is doing great. I'm sure they're as disappointed as many of you out there as they bleed blue and gold. But hey, we're so honored to be able to bring you this stuff here on Bonfire Sports. Take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.